DFA fam, welcome into the Wednesday live show. Here to answer all of your questions. We already have the chat popping off. Kev, let's just go ahead and dive right into it, man. We have BT who's been rocking with us since 9 o'clock. Been waiting on us. Boyd or Crowder, full PPR in the flex. I think I'm going to go Crowder there, honestly. I feel like his targets are more dependable than Boyd's are at this point.
Yeah, I think I would go James Crowder too at the amount of targets that he's seeing. It's just tough because it's the Jets, like they've just been. I mean, their target share the last 2 weeks for running backs is like 43% of the targets are going to the running backs, which is the not.
And then the other 40 to Jamison Crowder,
the highest in the league. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Indy's slot corner, Kenny Moore, has given up the most catches and the most catches and most yards while in slot coverage. So I like Crowder this week. We talked about him on the ranking show. And if you guys checked out either the running back or the wide receiver shows we put out today, please hit us up with some feedback. Let us know if you like the way that we did it this week. We switch it up a little bit. So I'd like to get some feedback from you all. Another question here from Brian Hines, Freeman, Jordan Howard, pick one in a full PPR.
That's oh man. I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go Jordan Howard. I just don't think you can trust Nyheim Hines. I mean, he's not really being involved at all.
So weird.
Jonathan Taylor is kind of taking over the backfield, which, I mean, if you're a Jonathan Taylor owner, you'd love to see. And then with Devonta Freeman, I have no idea what to expect from these running backs coming out of the bye. Who's going to get the opportunities? Xavier Murray? Is it going to be Freeman? Is it going to be Le'Veon Bell? Is it going to be Tyson Williams? Like, I just don't want any part of that backfield. So I probably go Jordan Howard, but I don't even know. You know, I just think you hope and pray that he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, because he's not going to be involved as a pass catcher. I think that's the play as well. Boy, is it gross. Yeah, Howard. I mean, they have the matchup this week as well, going up against the Chargers. And the Chargers, their run D has been hit each and every week. One more here from Brian. Bengals or Chargers D this week needs a streamer. So we got the Bengals going up against the Browns. What was the other one? Chargers going up against Philly.
I'm going to go with the Chargers here.
Man. 50-point total in that game. 47 in the Bengals-Browns. Ugh. Trying to remember who I talked about in the streaming video, because I don't love either of those options. Brian, if you're still rocking with us, let us know if there's anything else available on your waivers. So I'm not really in love with either of those. I know it was a little rough this week in terms of streaming options. Can't remember who got.
I think the Dolphins. I mean, if the Dolphins are out there, I think they're a great streaming option against Houston.
Yeah.
I do like them quite a bit. Their defense has shown a little bit of sign of life lately as well, and so I do like them. Maybe Pittsburgh would be out there. I don't mind. I like them as well as an option. I think those would kind of be the guys that I would look at, or the defenses that I would look at to stream. Yeah, that's where I would be. And
have we gotten any word on Kyler yet this week?
no, they did say that he did. Cliff Kingsbury said today that he doesn't really need to practice to be able to play. So they're still holding out hope that he can go this week. So that's kind of where they stand right now. But I mean, there's the timetable is still 1 to 3 weeks. But yeah, as of right now, he has not been ruled out.
I know KC's defense has been horrid. With Jordan Love there, would you consider? Oh my God! I just now saw the how much that line has changed. It opened at 55.5, and then it's all the way down to 48.5. Would you consider KC with Jordan Love?
I don't mind that. They can get to the quarterback. They were smart with the way they did things. With they moved Chris Jones back to the inside. They acquired Melvin Ingram this week. We'll have to see if he'll be able to play this week or not. But they'll be able to do that. Frank Clark on the outside. So, I don't really mind it to do that, especially, with not a rookie quarterback, but a quarterback making really his first start on the road in Arrowhead. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Triple Trey rocking with us, and shout out to Walito coming through with the super chat. Walito always rocking with us. I don't think Walito has left the TFA streams since the off season of last year. I think he's just always in here. Always in here. We appreciate you, Walito. Tanny or Matt Ryan this week?
I'm gonna go Tannehill. I think both of them obviously have really tough matchups. Tannehill against the Rams, and then Matt Ryan. I mean, those are two really good defenses. I just tend to lean, especially without Derrick Henry, they're not going to be able to run the ball. Being able to move the ball through the air with Tannehill. So that's probably where I would go. And at least Tannehill gives you something on the ground as well.
Yeah.
By the way, I do want to say, has there been a crazier fucking day that you can remember? Like for the NFL on a Wednesday? Like there was so much that happened today. Like it felt like every hour something new was coming out with the NFL. Like it was just a absolutely crazy news day today.
It was way busier and way crazier than the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean the Aaron Rodgers news. We got more information about Henry Ruggs and how much of an idiot he is, and then we find out that the Giants had 13 players test positive, but then it came out later that it was actually, false positive. So all those guys should be okay. I think they'll have to test positive one more or negative one more time, but they all tested negative again. Like it's just, Odell Beckham situation where he might be getting released. Like, man,
wild. Tyler Nash wants to know Pollard or Ayuk at flex in PPR.
This is Ayuk for me. I don't mind Tony Pollard. Like he's kind of dropped off the last couple of weeks, but I prefer Brandon Ayuk here in this matchup against Arizona.
Man, Dallas is now, that line has moved to -10 for Dallas. Oh my God. It feels like it's so hard to trust either of those guys. I'll go Pollard. I'm not ready to let Ayuk back into my heart. He's gonna have to bring me some flowers first. He's gonna have to show me that that he actually really cares and that he's here to stay. He's not just gonna up and leave me again and leave me here with all these damn kids by myself. Give me Pollard, like I said, especially considering that they are 10-point home favorites, so should see a lot of running back action. See Crip, Hurts or Carr? I'm going Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts here too. I really like Derek Carr this week as well. But I have Jalen Hurts at 7, and I have Derek Carr at 9. So
Yeah. Hurts super safe. Carr, we have literally seen the best and the worst of Carr already. And even though it's never pretty with Hurts, he still gets you there outside of last week. It figures in the game they put up the most points they have all season that Hurts kind of fell a little bit flat. But Crip has another question here: Panthers D or Patriots D this week?
I'm going Patriots.
Playing each other. Yeah. It doesn't look like
It sounds like
darn.
PJ Walker may actually be starting in this game.
Yeah. Give me the Pats here as well. Troy with another defensive question. Panthers D, Patriots, or Bears? Or wait, sorry. Panthers or Bears? I'm going to go with Panthers.
I'm going to go Bears.
Are you? I just think with the players that the Panthers got back last week, I guess not even got back, but Stephon Gilmore making his first appearance, Shaq coming back and healthy. I think they're just going to be able to get after Mac Jones a little bit.
Let me put it this way: if Khalil Mack is back for the Bears, I want to go Bears. If Khalil Mack is out, I would go Panthers.
Abraham, Kyler Najee, Aaron Jones, Adams, AJ Brown, Ingram, Jacobs at flex, DJ Moore on the bench. Are you putting in DJ Moore here over any of these options?
I don't know if you can play Evan Ingram. Like even last week when they had everybody out, it's like they still did not want to utilize Evan Ingram. Like it finally came down at the very end of the game, and he finally got that target on the end. To score the touchdown at the end. But he is so scary to play. Like I just feel like if there's other like tight ends out there, like Dan Arnold, I think is in play, always in play. Pat Fryermuth, if he's out there, I think he's a play. Albert O, I want to mention him. If you are streaming tight ends this week, and it sounds like Noah Fant is out, Albert O is the play. Like Adam, I would start Albert O over Ingram. I would start Albert O over Mo Alley Cox. I actually have my tight end rankings updated with Albert O, and I have Albert O at 7. So if Albert O is out there, Abraham, go get Albert O. Super athletic tight end. We saw him last year in some limited opportunities as well, and he really shined. So I really like Albert O. If he's out there. If he's not, then
there's definitely no bias there either with the Albert O.
Oh, there's not at all. Like I mean, he's super athletic tight end. He's gonna be the starter. I mean,
I would rather go Tyler Conklin as a streaming option this week. That's who I would roll with. I'd roll with Conklin over Ingram or Mo Alley, and Conklin should be pretty widely available for you there as well, Abraham. If you want to jump on the Albert O train, if Kev did enough to sway you there, go ahead and go Albert O. But I like Tyler Conklin in this matchup. Mitchell, Cooks, Higgins at the flex for KD.
I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell.
If he doesn't play, it's still early in the week, but he was expected to get in a limited practice today, and he did not practice at all. If Mitchell sits, who are you rolling with here between Cooks or Higgins?
Cooks.
If Robinson is healthy, he's still an RB2 option against Buffalo's defense. The other backup would be Mitchell or Javonte.
I would actually play Mitchell over James Robinson no matter what, if he plays.
Me too.
But, I don't think James Robinson, if James Robinson plays, I don't think that he's a bad option because he's going to get pass catching volume. But it's obviously not a great matchup against Buffalo. So
yeah. The easy money Sicilian traded high on Pittman, bought low on DJ Moore. We obviously love Pittman around these parts. Would you have done this trade?
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously DJ Moore is a great buy low. We talked about him in I guess the video is not out yet, so people will sneak peek. We got a buy low video coming, or buy sell video coming, I should say.
Be out tomorrow.
Yep. And so I had DJ Moore in there, and I do think that with Christian McCaffrey coming back, I think that it's going to open up this offense because really since he's left, it's kind of once we've seen this kind of offense completely derail, and so getting him back, I think is going to be huge for this offense. So we'll see if he's able to make it back this week. I hope that he is, but if he's not, then that would be the issue. But no, I think this is a solid move. I like Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman could be a low end wide receiver 1 moving forward, but we'll see.
Yeah, I like that move. That is a dub. Jamison Crowder or Renfro here for D'Lo.
I'm going to go Hunter Renfro.
I'm going to go Renfro as well, and then we are going to go Dolphins D. Wayne Kerr, Wentz or Tanny as QB2 this week.
I'm going to go Carson Wentz.
I'm going Wentz as well. So talked to Joseph a little earlier this evening. He made a trade. The starters for Joseph are Jefferson, Chase, Deontay Johnson, Judy and Davis on the bench. Traded Pittman and Higbee for Kittle and Julio. This is a 10-man PPR. The way that I looked at it was Pittman was probably not jumping into that starting lineup. Because Johnson right now is his flex, right? Like it's going to be hard to start Pittman over Jefferson or Chase. Deontay, that's going to be close each week. The upgrade from Higbee to Kittle. That's the way that I looked at it. I think Joseph was also sitting at 6-2 as well.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad move. Hopefully when Kittle comes back, he's more involved than when he was previously to the injury. But I don't hate it. I think it's a definite upgrade at the tight end position, and you're so stacked at wide receivers.
Yeah,
I don't think it really hurts you. And for the most part, you're starting Jefferson, Chase, and Deontay Johnson every single week. So,
right.
I mean, it'd be more of a if injury happened, but Julio. What I would honestly do too is if Julio could get it together and kind of put together a couple of good games here, I would look to trade Julio too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. CHB, start 1 as my RB2 here. Ty Johnson, Mike Davis, Dearness Johnson, or Philip Lindsay. Someone dropped Saquon. Oh my God. When was Saquon dropped and why is he still out there is what I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely, Saquon is worth an ad. He is worth all of your fab. If you have fab, if this is a fab budget, he's worth 100% of what you have. You're not going to find a Saquon on the waivers, okay?
No.
And so that somebody must have saw the tweet. Remember that was a guy from Draft Network that said Saquon is droppable on Twitter. You must have saw that tweet. Yeah, because that is not it.
Yes. So
they probably
first things first. Pick up Saquon.
Yeah, he said this morning Saquon was dropped. Hate to see
this morning.
Yeah.
How can you hold? Okay. Anyway, yes. Hurry up. Pick up Saquon. The RB2. Who do you like here?
Jose. I saw the last comment. Someone just said also someone dropped Antonio Gibson. Should I drop Hyde and take Gibson? People are just dropping running backs out here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's so many that we can, just roll out and feel great about each week, then, you obviously have to drop guys like Saquon and Antonio. My Lord.
I would go Ty Johnson.
Yeah, same for me. I know Mike Davis saw an uptick in targets last week, but going up against the Saints, I can't get there. And Philip, I want nothing to do with any of those Houston backs. You can drop Philip Lindsay.
You're not picking up Scotty Phillips?
Nobody. I would pick up Arian Foster and play him before I played anybody else. CJ Uzuma or Patty Fry here for Justin Young.
Frymuth.
Patty Fry, baby. Let's go. Alexis Cezanne. Should I trade Kittle, Andrews, or Kyle? Oh my God, that's how I got all three of them. Oh my God. Traded for none of them. Okay. How would you, if you were going to trade these, how would you rank these in terms of who you would trade first to last?
Mark Andrews, and then Kittle, and then Kyle Pitts.
So Kyle Pitts is the one that. Do you want to hold on to Kyle Pitts, or do you think that's just who you're going to get the least?
Yeah, I want to hold Kyle Pitts because there's nobody else there, and so this is kind of like it's going to be like a Darren Waller type situation where there's just going to be no one else to throw to, and he's just going to be absolutely peppered with targets. And so, yes, I do not want to lose Kyle Pitts, and I would look to move Kittle and Mark Andrews and trade both of them, and make upgrades.
Something tells me that Alexis isn't going to be giving up on Kittle too easily, though. Howard Drake or AJ Dillon in 4. Are we back in week 7?
Is this week? Apocalypse again? Though I guess we talked about all the injuries that we have with running backs. I mean, Derrick Henry, Saquon, CMC. Antonio Gibson's on bye this week. I mean, it's tough in these streets. It's between Drake and AJ Dillon for me. I would probably go AJ Dillon because I think that you probably expect the Packers to try to do something similar to what they did last week with the Cardinals and just run the rock. And I think that opens things up for AJ Dillon to probably see more opportunities.
That makes sense. Yeah, we can't trust Drake. Even in that last game, I think he had 2 touchdowns or something like that. He still played. I think it was around 30% of the snaps. So you can't trust that. I will let you answer this one, Kev. Justin wants to know if we should be worried about Kelsey.
No, I mean, because it's funny because he's still the tight end 1. Even if he hasn't necessarily been as good as what he just hasn't been the game-changing tight end that he was last year. But he's still the tight end 1 right now, even with as bad as he was last week. And I mean, he's definitely not on the same page as Pat Mahomes. I don't think I've ever seen them so out of sync between the two of them. The one thing that they always had was, they had such strong chemistry on the field, and we just haven't seen it. Now, this is a good spot to bounce back, especially without Aaron Rodgers out there, but I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he's still pretty much number 1 across every single metric out there when you look at him. I mean, he's first in receptions, first in receiving yards. He's third in touchdowns among all tight ends. He's also first in yards after the catch. He's still Travis Kelsey. It's just, he just hasn't been red hot like the Travis Kelsey we saw last year, like he kind of was last year. But he still hasn't been terrible. He has really 2 weeks of last week against the Giants, we had 4.7. And then week 4 against Philly, we had 6.3. But other than that, it's 25.6, 23.9, 17.4, 17.7, 17.9, and 13.5. He's still been fine.
Cooper or D-Hop at the wide receiver 2 spot for Alexis?
I'm going to go DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, unless it's Colt McCoy.
Even if it's Colt McCoy. Actually, it could be a good thing if it's Colt McCoy because he probably is just going to pepper him with targets.
Do you think Colt McCoy has the arm strength to get it to outside the hashes?
I mean, Colt McCoy's been competent in the times that he has been a backup quarterback. You know,
Yeah, I feel like the last time we saw him was like 4 years ago, and
it
that
hasn't
wasn't
been that long.
Feels like it's been a while.
Speaking of
Yes,
long,
I'd be going
did you see
D-Hop.
the tweet by CBS tweeting out about Adrian Peterson? Like it wasn't that long ago when Adrian Peterson did this, and it was a run of 60 yards or something, and it was from 3 years ago. Or they said it was like only 3 years ago, and I'm like, only 3 years ago? Do you know how long ago 3 years is in the NFL?
Jesus.
Anyway.
No, I did not see that. Yeah, Alexis, D-Hop. I would not start D-Hop. I would start Cooper over D-Hop if it's Colt McCoy. Vina P.
Yeah, he
Judy
started 2
or
games last year for the Giants. Colt McCoy.
wow, I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Huh. How about that? Anyway, Judy Sanders.
This is Jerry Jeudy for me.
Sweep there as well. Alan C. Another Judy question. Judy, Eli, or Damian Harris at the flex?
Eli.
Yes. If Eli doesn't play,
I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy.
We are in lockstep tonight. Jose has a question here in a standard league. Josh Allen, Elliott, Aaron Jones, Chase, Pittman, Andrews, Eli, Zerline, Bills. Defense benches Drake, Hubbard, Monty, Beasley, Claypool, Judy, Gallup. Any changes here? I mean, obviously, if Eli doesn't play, do you like Claypool or Judy in that flex spot? Standard league.
I would go Claypool there.
Okay. Yeah, if Mitchell plays, keep everything as is. Jose, if Mitchell does not slide Claypool into that spot. Flappy Chappers, will Dalvin come back and start performing? Need him to step it up. I mean, he's been a little disappointing this season. I think he only has the 1 or 2 games that are really what we want from Dalvin and what we expect from him whenever we take him at second, third overall. But the good news is he at least looked healthy in that last game, came out of it healthy. So going forward, your plug he's still a set and forget. Right. Obviously already had the bye week. So it still has Zimmer at the helm. And this matchup against Baltimore, this is not the Baltimore defense of old. They've been giving up a bunch of production of running backs this season. So I think this could be a game where we see Dalvin kind of get back to what we are expecting from him. Alejandro has Allen, Gordon, JT, DJ Moore, Judy, Pitts, Galladay on the benches, Booker, Herbert, Callaway, Pollard, Rondale, Moore. Any changes to this lineup? I think I would start both Booker and Herbert over Gordon.
Yes, for sure. And I actually think I would start, as long as Saquon is out. If Saquon's out again this week, I think I would start Booker and Herbert over Gordon and Galladay.
Yeah. Samesies. If Saquon is back, are you keeping Galladay in the flex, or are you starting one of these other guys?
At that point, I probably just put Khalil Herbert in the flex.
And keep Gordon in.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we didn't really talk about a lot of sell highs in the video we did. We had a couple of sells, but not necessarily sell highs. Would Debo fall into that category for you, or would you just ride with him?
I think it just depends on what you're trying to acquire. What does the rest of your roster look like? Like, are you set? I mean, it depends on. I guess it really depends on what your roster makeup is, right? Like if you're deep at running, or if you're deep at wide receiver and you need a running back, I think Debo is a terrific guy that I think you can pull off and sell right now with how well he's produced. Like I don't know if you could. I mean, I don't think you can expect this crazy output that he's been able to do for the most of the year, right? And so, but I'm not like actively shopping him either. Like I'm not trying to get rid of him, but I don't hate it because I don't think he maintains this level of production all year, and I think it's more likely because I think right now he's on pace to like break the all-time receiving record or receiving yard record is what he's on pace for, and like his average or his yards per route run is like insanely high. It's almost like 4 yards per route run right now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I also think with somebody like Debo, my apologies, not ready for not ready to see Kevin just wheel away over there. I also think with somebody like Debo, people aren't going to pay for the production based on the name, right? Like Kevin was saying, like not expecting that to continue. I think it's probably how a lot of people are thinking. So if you can get a sell high kind of price for a Depot, definitely consider it. But I just don't think that is someone that people are going to pony up for, so to speak. Especially considering the production that he has given you thus far. AO coming through with the super chat. Appreciate you. Any changes to this lineup? Burrow, AJ, Hollywood, Najee, Mixon, Kelsey, D-Hop. Benches, Khalil, Darrell, CPAT.
No, I'm not changing any of that.
No. Traded for Najee and D-Hop. Yeah, that is a pretty lineup. Walito, is Christmas hat Kev your favorite Kev?
Well, I saw Dustin said now that Halloween is over, time to figure out where to put the Christmas tree, which still makes me. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about the hat.
Yeah, that really threw me off whenever you just wheeled away. I couldn't help myself.
I got it sitting over on the side table right over here. Just sits there ready. It's like the bat suit, gotta throw it on.
Justin Young traded away Kamara and Hollywood for JT and Fournette in full PPR. So trade away Alvin and Hollywood for JT and Fournette.
I like that. I mean, especially with the ridiculous amount of touches that Jonathan Taylor is seeing. Yeah, I like that.
Rest of the season, who do you like? There's 2 wide receivers that we just touched on in the video. Van Jefferson or Edwards, full PPR. Who do you like?
I'm going to go Bryan Edwards.
Pretty confidently, or?
Yeah. I mean, with the unfortunate Henry Ruggs situation, I mean, I think it just kind of narrows things down a little bit more. And I think he becomes kind of the main deep threat. I mean, him and Ruggs were kind of going back and forth in terms of deep targets. I think this opens things up a little more. Now Ruggs gone. That's 14% of the targets that are now vacated. Now, obviously, that's going to be spread out. It's not like Brian Edwards is all of a sudden going to get all those targets, but I do think it allows them to see a little bit more of the opportunities, and coming off the bye, and so things are being a little more concentrated. Where Van Jefferson kind of needs a little bit more of an injury to happen to be more like an every week guy that you can kind of count on a little bit more. I like Van Jefferson in certain matchups though, and it's crazy because the Rams are actually lead the league in targets to their wide receivers. 75% of their targets go to wide receivers, which is the
And
highest.
70% of those 75 go to Cooper Kupp.
Well, no, I don't know. Robert Woods is starting to catch fire a little bit.
I would love to confidently say Edwards. I think if you're shooting for pure upside, I'm going Edwards. Because, hopefully with Ruggs out of it. But it's not like Ruggs was getting targeted like at a crazy rate either. Like you said, only 14% target share. Really not that much for, especially for a first round pick who had the skill set that, that he had. If you're going for upside, because obviously neither of these guys are going to be in your starting lineup on a week-to-week basis, I guess I'm going to go Edwards there, but I don't know that. I like the safety of the Rams offense over the Raiders, but the upside still lies with Edwards. But just be prepared for, even with Ruggs being out of the picture, not a massive change in his target share. That is the only thing that I'm worried about. Someone dropped Mike Davis. Would you drop Howard?
Yes.
To pick up Mike.
Jordan Howard, to me, I was not somebody I would ever want to roster. He's a very short-term play. It sounds like Miles Sanders, his trip to the IR was really, he should be ready to go right after the week 3. So we're already 1 week down. You only have 2 weeks left. And when Miles Sanders comes back, he's going to step right back into that role and take back the starting opportunity. So Jordan Howard, very, very limited. And he's just not even worth an ad or a roster spot, in my opinion.
Bozo Bob Wart, triple trays, not to be confused with our triple tray. Will Dearness Johnson get carries this week, and I have to start him if McCaffrey isn't back?
Well, I mean,
if you have to start him, you have to start him.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get opportunities, and he's going to get pass catching work as well because if we just saw it last week, what they did, where they just really had Nick Chubb, didn't get any pass catching work. I thought maybe he would see a little bit more an uptick. Maybe that changes. Maybe, first week back, they were working him in a little bit more, but back into the offense. But I think Dearness Johnson, while Kareem Hunt is gone, I think is a decent RB3. So, yeah, I think,
And what are you doing with Ridley?
You have to hold him. You can't cut him. I mean, you can cut him, and next week he can decide he's back. And so you have to hold on to him because I would feel really dumb if I dropped Calvin Ridley and a couple of weeks later he's back.
Right. Michael Brown needs 2 wide receivers and a flex. Let's start with the receivers: Keenan, Woods, Tony, Claypool.
Keenan Allen and Robert Woods.
What are you doing here in the flex? Is this another Eli if he starts and then Claypool if he doesn't situation?
Yes.
TX416. What's up, boys? Should I start MG3 or AP?
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I can't mess with AP.
36-year-old Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, off the street. Can't do it. And it's not like this is the Titans line. I was thinking about this today. This isn't the Titans offensive line from 3 years ago where they were just, stacked from left to right and were just mauling people over. Like this isn't the same line. So I can't mess with AP, especially week 1. T. Higgins or Devonta Smith in a half PPR.
I'm going to go T. Higgins.
Same for me. Wish we had a little more disagreement tonight. We are agreeing on an awful lot of these questions. Ray has both of these defenses. Who would you go with? Colts versus the Jets or Cowboys versus the Broncos?
Yeah, I would go Cowboys. I mean, they have that opportunistic defense, and Teddy Bridgewater has shown propensity to turn the ball over, and so I would go Cowboys D.
Cowboys D for me as well.
And just go ahead and drop the Colts.
Yes. Ravens, Raiders, Chargers. Who do you like here? Ravens, Raiders.
Not Baltimore.
Hmm.
So it's between the Raiders and Chargers.
Not Raiders for me. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I would go. Yep.
Jay-Z in the house. Would you trade Godwin and Emmanuel Sanders for DK?
I think I would try to get a little something back. I think that's
You
a
should
little
be
bit
able to.
too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think DK Metcalf is still, that dude, and so I don't mind it. Like, I don't hate it.
And it seems like Russ should be back.
I feel like you should be able to get a little something else back. You're not gonna you're not getting like a huge asset, but if he has like a bench asset like Tony Pollard or something like that to throw back in, I would do that. Or James, let us know who the other guy has on his bench. 'Cause that's what I would try to get a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Twitch popping off, and it's not last fish in the pond. Mike Gucci have Mike Williams and Mike Evans. Might try to sell Mike Williams, and I'm not sure with Evans. What do you think I should sell Mike Williams for?
So I don't think this is if you're going to sell Mike Williams, I don't think it's the time to do it because he's kind of coming off some down performances. I don't ever want to trade somebody like that because you're not going to get the same value for him. Had you tried to trade him a couple weeks ago, you could have got the world for him. Now you're not, and so I would rather just hold. And also, Mike, what are you trying to acquire? Like, what are we trading them for? Are you trying to get a running back? Because running backs, generally speaking, are cost more than what a wide receiver does to acquire. And so, what is it that you're trying to acquire by moving one of these guys?
Yeah, I would just if I echo everything you just said, Kev. Now is not the time to sell Mike Williams. I'm holding Mike Evans. Mike Evans just continues to be one of the most disrespected players in fantasy. So I don't think that you're going to get what you could or should get. If you can get fair value for him, sure, go ahead. But Mike Evans always kind of seems to be the guy, like, if you have him, it's because the rest of your league like passed on him and like nobody else wanted him. So that's how I would handle that.
By the way, I have figured out where the Christmas tree is going to go. I was actually just talking about this tonight in my living room. I'm going to push the couch all the way back, further back, and it's going to go in the corner. So I'm excited about it. So yes, we have figured it out. Dustin?
Do you get a real tree every year? Or do you have a fake one?
Yeah, fake one.
Fake one.
Real trees are such a pain in the dick to try to keep up with and maintain.
That is very disappointing coming from Christmas Kev.
That's really the only reason. It's just they're such a pain in the ass to maintain and everything. Get all the damn needles all over the place.
I've only ever had one, and it was actually at my frat house.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah. it was at my frat house, and it brought a bat inside of our house. That bat was cooped up in the in the old Christmas tree. It's the only time I've ever had one. Joel wants to know, do I drop Pollard for AP? We are not doing that. Don't do that. Let AP be somebody. The part of the reason why that Derrick Henry is so damn valuable, yes, he's a monster, but the dude is also getting 20, 25, 30 carries each and every week. AP is not going to do that. So there's going to be a split backfield. I personally like Jeremy McNichols as the pickup, especially in PPR leagues. I think we hopefully see this offense switch a little bit more to a pass heavy instead of a run heavy team, especially if Julio can stay healthy. So I'm just not interested in AP getting 12 carries a week. You know what I mean? Like it's 12, 15 at most. He's not coming in and taking over that Derrick Henry role. And if he does, he's not going to be lasting too long. TB12 Goat Man, Eli or Herbert, RB2 full PPR.
This one's actually really close because I like both of them a fair amount. I think I have them ranked like right next to each other. And so I would go Eli, but it's very close. So I would feel good about either one of them. So if Eli doesn't play, you feel good about starting Herbert. But I think I would go Eli Mitchell.
Ilias, should I trade Swift to get Jamar Chase and PPR?
No.
You're not doing that?
No. I get it. DeAndre Swift hasn't been the most consistent running back, but the thing is like I've said, like with running backs, there's so much more value because they're so much harder to replace. When one of them goes down, it's like we do this thing whenever guys get hurt, right? Running backs, right? So you have like Derrick Henry, for example, who went down, and then so everybody rushes to go pick up Adrian Peterson once he gets signed. Adrian Peterson isn't going to be able to produce 1/10 of what Derrick Henry can, right? And so running backs get hurt. So when they go down, like their value is so much greater, right? And so if you and it's easy to say, oh, I got great depth at running back. That's what a lot of people say. But all it takes is 1 week and you lose a couple of these guys. Now you have no depth, right? Wide receivers is so much easier to replace, right? And I feel like honestly, this is something I've been kind of going back and forth. I think we even talked about a little bit last night, was doing a video on if you're if you only have 1 or 2 wins and you're not looking great at making the playoffs. This is if you get to that point, because there's so many wide receivers that I feel like on a weekly basis, because I play DFS, so we do a DFS show. There's so many wide receivers that are widely available, on that people can just pick up every week and start at wide receiver, where you just don't have that at running back. There's no running back you can just pick up and just throw them in there and you feel good about starting them. Wide receiver, there are. And so, it's just so much easier to replace the wide receiver. So once I have running backs, I don't want to trade them unless you absolutely have to, unless you're just desperate to. I'm damn sure not trading DeAndre Swift. I mean, DeAndre Swift, could end up, I think he's going to finish as a top 6, top 7 running back this year. And I'm just not moving him. I love Jamar Chase, but, he's eventually going to come down to earth as well. He's not going to continue this torrid pace that he's been on. And so, no, I don't want to trade running backs for a wide receiver.
Ilias, let us know who your other running backs are. I'm just curious if maybe if this is like an 8-team league. You know what I mean? Could potentially be stacked at, you know what I mean? Just to get a little more context around the question. Aquaman, 1 flex, full PPR, Judy, Patty Fry, Devonta Smith, also rolling the dice with CMC.
Aqua, how you feeling about them not going after Deshaun Watson, not pulling the trigger there? I know what did he call him?
The left arm of God.
Yeah, the left arm of God. That's right. That's what he called him. So it should be a good week for you. But anyways, this is Jerry Judy for me.
Yeah, Judy for me as well. Alejandro Burgos, AB. Would you flex Latavius, Bateman, or Jordan Howard?
Rashad Bateman, and absolutely not. You are starting Khalil Herbert with confidence.
Yeah. And then this is going back to the would you sell high on Debo question. And Chappers also has Dave Montgomery as RB2, but obviously not back yet. I would be looking to trade one of those tight ends before I traded Debo. If you have Pitts and Hawkinson, there has to be someone in your league who's hurting for tight end. So I would look at the owner in your league who has
you definitely need a running back. I mean, you have Dalvin Cook because CEH, which I have not heard anything about yet, but CEH could return this week. He's eligible to return from the IR now,
right.
And so, like, he can return at any time. And so, David Montgomery's my RB2, but he's not back yet. And so he does have another running back, but yeah, I think you need to trade for a running back. So if you could trade Debo for a running back, that's what I would look to do. If you could trade Debo for Joe Mixon, would you do it? Because I think I would. I 100% know I would. Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would. I don't mind that at all. I'm just thinking you might be able to get a little something on top of Mixon, right? Like Mixon's production's been up and down. Still get like the touches and the usage is still there outside of the week where he was questionable and they played him on limited snaps for whatever reason they decide to do that.
Or maybe try to trade for Saquon. Offer Debo for Saquon.
I don't know if I could roll that dice.
I mean, Saquon was starting to produce before he got hurt, right? And when time he comes back, I mean, the guy's gonna be 100% healthy. Because if he doesn't play this week, they have bye next week. He'll be back week 11. So it depends on where you stand, like where your record is. Like if you're not in a position to wait that out, because once week 11 comes, he's 100% back, and so there is the chance he plays this week. I would have been good to know if he would have practiced today, but with the COVID thing, he wasn't able to practice. And so, but I do like buying low on Saquon. Maybe wait till after this week, utilize Debo and everything this week, and then maybe after this week, try to trade for Saquon. Because then you only have the bye week, and then boom, he's back week 11.
I would still rather trade one of those tight ends. Like I
don't think you're going to get as much. Hawkinson really hasn't been great this year. I mean, he's been okay, and I damn sure don't want to trade Kyle Pitts. So like, I just don't think you're going to be able to get a ton for Hawkinson. I mean, you might, but I mean, you're not getting like a high level running back. Or you're getting probably like a Khalil Herbert or something, or something like that, and more of an RB2 type.
Yeah, for sure.
Or swing for the fences and offer like Debo and Hawkinson for Jonathan Taylor or something.
Yeah, I like that move too. Let's see. Hey, B already got that one. Does this, with this being a non-PPR league, does that change any of your answers for Alejandro with Bateman?
No.
Or you still going Bateman over Latavius there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say this. Can I say this? We've seen way too much Jordan Howard tonight. Okay. Like, there's no reason to roster Jordan Howard. There's none. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Like, if I want to take some shots on running backs, to have running backs on my roster, because this is now, we have entered the time to start adding the cuff running backs, right? Because this is the time whenever we're starting to get through buys. There's not as many of them left, especially after the buy apocalypse. But like running backs that I think that should be rostered that aren't. Salvon Ahmed. I don't know why he's not rostered. He should be. At any moment, he could take over as a starting running back there. He's one injury away from being the starting running back in that backfield. I 100% think that he should be rostered in more leagues than what he is. What we end up seeing is so often is a lot of people end up waiting until an injury happens. Then everybody wants to run out and add these guys. Like be proactive and add these guys to your roster now. There's no upside whatsoever in Jordan Howard. I don't care what happens. There's no upside with him. And so like he doesn't provide anything. He's going to get you, I don't know, at best, 15 fantasy points or something? Like it's just like roster him, roster Justin Jackson, Roster Marlon Mack. Roster, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other guys off the top of my head. If Tony Pollard's out there, if somebody dropped him, if somebody dropped Alexander Madison, drop that, get those guys. Go trade for Javonte Williams, who's still not going to cost a whole lot because he hasn't taken off yet. And all these guys are the running backs that I want. We don't want Jordan Howard or Adrian Peterson or any of those guys because none of those guys provide any upside. And so, they're not winning you your league. They're not winning you your week. And so we can drop those guys. There's no reason to roster them whatsoever.
Agreed. This is a question I would expect from a bot. Is it worth trading for the Rams D? That answer is eternally and forever always going to be no. Not very. I would assume that 99.9999% of the time we're going to say no to this question. So not trading for any defense, any kickers, nothing like that. Would you prefer Gaskin or Boston Scott as the RB2 this week? I like Gaskin in this spot. I also like Boston Scott, but I think Gaskin is much more bankable in terms of his usage. Obviously Boston Scott performed well last week. That was also a situation that is not going to be the same for them from a game script perspective this week going up against the Chargers. So it is definitely Gaskin. Well, I thought that this is where you were going to go with that one because this is the Kev that came into my mind whenever I asked that question. Debro, was talking about the ghost, the ghost getting you whenever you disappeared. But, outside of the tree also has a fantasy question. Start 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and a PPR. So we have for the wide receivers, Cooper, Woods, Keenan, Crowder, Manny. So we need 2 out of that group.
Give me Keenan.
Yes.
And Amari.
Who do the Rams have this week? All these matchups have just completely vanished from my brain. I've not been able to remember.
Rams at Tennessee.
Ooh. I'm going to go Woods and Keenan.
Yeah, it's going to be Cooper. I'm going to play the first 3. Cooper, Woods, and Keenan Allen, right? Because he needs 2 wide receivers and a flex.
And then if Kittle plays, are you going Kittle or Pitts?
Pitts.
Did we already get this one?
Yeah, it was Justin Dillon.
Okay. I mean, CPAT's a fine option here. AO if D-Hop is out. Not a great matchup by any means, but going to get carries, going to get targets. So let us know if you have any, what your other options are. Or is it the same one that you dropped? Okay. So it was this one. Or would you go Herbert or CPAT?
I would go Khalil Herbert.
Okay. If D-Hop's out, you're going Herbert over.
Yeah.
Okay. Damian Harris or J-Rob? Obviously not a great matchup for either.
I would go Damian Harris, I think. I don't know. It's just the Panthers' rush defense is really good. And so It's not one that I really want to target. And if they were to fall behind, it pretty much kills him. Where if James Robinson plays, then James Robinson is definitely going to be more involved in the passing game. So I would assume it's PPR. So I think if James Robinson plays, I probably go James Robinson, even though they also don't have a great matchup either.
Gator fan wants to know what is realistic value to ask back for Fields, and this is in a super flex league.
I still don't think it's great.
Yeah.
Just because he has the huge the big week he had last week, but
It's been really bad outside of that.
Yeah.
It's not like we've seen like, okay, he's starting to get there. It's been like bad, and like, oh shit, this is what he could be. So like I just don't know what you're going to be able to get back. I mean, maybe if you add a little bit, like, would you think about like adding a little bit to Fields to like try and get like a Kirk Cousins? Like, I think in order for you to get anything out of Fields, you're going to have to add to him to get that upgrade. I think if you're just trying to do a swap, because I'm trying to think of his roster. I don't know if he has. I don't think he has another QB. I think it's Kyler and Fields for his Superflex roster, if I'm remembering correctly. So in a league where you can start two, I think you're going to have to add to Fields to really be able to get anything out of it. I can't imagine there's going to be a quarterback that you can just swap for. You're not getting a stud running back. You're not getting a stud receiver. I think Gator has Andrews as the tight end, so you don't need an upgrade there. I think you're gonna have to add to Fields to really get anything out of it. Alfredo wants to know Patty Fry or Goddard full PPR.
I'm gonna go Goddard.
Yeah, definitely Goddard for me, and then Van Jefferson or Judy in the flex.
Judy.
It's gonna be Judy. Tua or Wentz here for Chris?
Tua.
Yes, agreed. Would you trade Cook, Keenan, and Monty for JT and Cooper in a standard league?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, from Metcalf. Wait, that's not. Wait, is that Dalvin Cook?
Has to be, right?
Yeah, it's not. No, then I would not. I'm not trading Dalvin Cook.
What about Chubb for Metcalf?
No, not in a standard.
And the last one is Chubb, Kyler, Monty, and Higgins for Najee, Dak, Lockett, Herbert. Chubb, Kyler, Monty, Higgins.
No, not in the standard. So Najee in a standard isn't as appealing because some of his value just because of how many he's just hammered with targets, right? And so it kind of lifts him up a little bit. And then
this is where Chubb is most valuable.
Yeah, I mean, then you're trading. I mean, David Montgomery's going to come back.
What about Chubb, Kyler, Monty for Dak? No, still the same issue. No, Ray, I think you are sitting pat on all of that. The team is looking good. ET currently starting Tua against the Texans. Do you think Jordan Love is worth the gamble against the Chiefs? I would not. No, I'm rocking with Tua there.
Yeah, Tua.
Dustin Brah trading Woods, Crowder, and Harris for Godwin and Zeke. If you can do that, hopefully you're not trading away Godwin and Zeke. That does not sound like a fair trade to me at all. I'd absolutely 100% want the Godwin and Zeke side without thinking twice.
Yeah, I don't know if that was offered to you, yes, slam accept. But if it wasn't, and you're offering,
it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that.
Kittle or Pitts instead of Crowder or Woods.
Yeah, I would put. Oh, it's tough. Because Kittle right now, it's tough because Kittle right now just does not have the it's like he's coming back off injury, right? And so
yeah, and really only had that one big game. I
can't trade Kyle Pitts. He's he's gonna see so many damn targets, and like Kittle, they with all the weapons that they have, like they're in San Francisco, like it's just lowering him a little bit, right? He doesn't have the same type of upside that Kyle Pitts does right now, and so like I'm not trading Kyle Pitts. I don't want to trade Kyle Pitts. You could include Kittle because of the name, obviously, but like
Yeah.
if you did, I mean, you're gonna have to swap out Crowder. I think that maybe then you can get it done for Woods, Kittle, and Harris. But that's even still, if I had Godwin and Zeke, I still wouldn't make the trade. Like if I owned them, I'm not accepting that. But if you can get someone to do it, awesome. Just don't include Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be Kittle over Crowder. Schlep. Who should I trade Diggs for? AJ Brown, possibly. Do I take that risk?
It's tough because AJ Brown, I think now is a legitimate locked-in top 5 wide receiver rest of season with Derrick Henry out.
And Diggs, the targets have been there for Diggs, but the production hasn't. Not that it hasn't been there, but not obviously to the point that it was last year.
Right, you're not getting the monster performance. The best week, he's only had 1 week all year of 20-plus fantasy points. That was week 6 against Tennessee where he had 23.9. Other than that, he has not had one wide receiver 1 week at all. But I don't know if I doubt that the person that you're trying to trade with, I don't know if they would accept that either.
Yeah. Especially now. A couple weeks ago, maybe, but I don't know.
I think you're better off to hold Stephon Diggs.
If you could make that swap.
Yes, I probably would.
Okay.
Because right now, I mean, So Diggs right now, he's 12th in targets with 24.9% target share, which is 17th. That's not great. He's also 30th in market share of the air yards in this offense. He's not really seeing the deep targets like he did last year, only 11 deep targets, which is 18th among all wide receivers. He's just been very middle of the road, but it's still Stephon Diggs. And at any time he can, kind of turn on. So yes, if you could, try it. You could try it, but I think it'd be tough to do it.
Yeah.
To make that happen. But yeah.
Right. So I'm not sure at what point this came in during your speech there, Kev, about getting the handcuffs. Madison, Chuba, those running backs fall into what you were talking about earlier with, at this point of the season being the guys you want to go after and get.
Oh, this is absolutely the time to start doing it. That's what I was saying. Like, if those guys are out there, this is the time to do it. I don't like holding on to. Like early in the year, I don't think there's as much upside as there is now to add these guys because we are at the point of where we're getting closer to the fantasy playoffs. Or what, like 5 or 6 weeks away, something like that, to the fantasy playoffs. And so. Yeah, I think this is now the time to really start adding those guys. We're getting past buys, and so yeah, definitely. I mean, Chuba's got to get dropped as soon as Christian McCaffrey returns.
Yeah,
and so yeah.
Judy versus Dallas or DJ Moore versus the Pats, and let's assume that it is PJ Walker at the helm.
As long as Christian McCaffrey's back this week, I would go DJ Moore.
Still with PJ Walker?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going Judy in that scenario. We saw what they did to Mike Williams last week. DJ Moore is the only receiver they have to worry about, so they're going to take him out and then just try and limit McCaffrey if he comes back, and especially if it's PJ Walker. So I'm going to go – I would go Judy if that is PJ Walker. Cade wants to know Marvin Jones or Devonta Smith. This is going to be Smitty for me. The Slim Reaper.
Yeah, I agree.
B-Dubs wants to know, should I give Mitchell and Clyde for Saquon? Henderson, C-Pat, Daryl, Javonte. I mean, if you can do it.
Yeah, I think I would. It's so tough. Like, I don't know. I think it's. You know what I would rather do? I think I would rather actually take out Mitchell and put in Cordell Patterson.
Yeah. Yeah, I would absolutely do that as well. If that doesn't get it done, are you still okay with giving up Mitchell and Clyde? Seeing as B-Dubs has Henderson and C-Pat sitting there.
Yeah,
as well.
because I think whenever CEH returns, I don't think he's going to get the same opportunities that he got. I think you're going to see much more of a mix of Daryl in this offense moving forward.
Alejandro has Knox. If he doesn't play, would you play CJ or Patty Fry? We had this question earlier. That is going to be Patty Fry for us. Santiago wants to know, what do we think about Mixon the rest of the season? I mean, locked in back end RB1 is how I would approach that. I think Kev is with me there. Would you trade Kelsey and Mixon for Pitts and Aaron Jones?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whoo! Already got that one. Braxo need help. Looking for an upgrade for my team. Dak is QB and Russ. Wide receivers Godwin, DJ Moore, Hopkins, RBs Hunt, Mixon, Clyde, Michael Carter. Trade one of your quarterbacks.
Yeah, so Russ is supposed to be back next week, so that should be back next week, which is a big boost, obviously, to this offense. Much faster than I thought he was going to be back, but love to see that. And so, yeah, I think you try to trade one of the quarterbacks.
Godwin, DJ Moore, Hopkins.
And actually, if I had to trade one of them, I would rather trade Dak than I'd rather trade Russ.
Yeah, I mean, I would. That's a scenario where I'm fine with either of those guys, and I would just put it up on your chat, if you know what I mean, your league chat, the site chat, whatever. Just let them know both those guys are available, and I would just take the best offer. What would you look to upgrade here? I mean, the running back spot is obviously what stands out to me.
Yeah, but I just feel like if you're gonna do that, like what are you trading, right? Like, I guess you're getting, like, Chris Kareem Hunt's hurt, so you're not really getting anything for him. So if you wanted to include him in any trade, so then you're probably just going to create another hole at wide receiver. Like, because like if you trade, you're gonna have to trade Godwin or DJ, and DJ Moore doesn't have the value right now that you want to be able to move him.
What about one of the whatever quarterback and Michael Carter? As much as we like Michael Carter, if you're able to get like a higher range RB2 potentially, you know what I mean, selling a little bit high, excuse me, on Michael Carter after his back-to-back performances.
No, because I actually think Michael Carter is is that running back that you'd want. Like, I think Michael Carter stands to be able to probably be a decent, solid RB2 rest of season.
So you're just leaving everything as is for this team.
I think you kind of have to. I mean, unless you're going to make like incremental trades, right? Like you're going to make something a little bit smaller of a deal, to get some smaller pieces. I think you could, but I think right now you just work the waivers.
Leo wants to know who we would drop: Bateman, Moore, or Ayuk for Van Jefferson.
None. If you wanted to drop somebody, it would be Rondell Moore for Van Jefferson.
Would you rather have Van Jefferson over Rondell?
I think it's a wash. I would be fine with either one of them. It's just Rondell Moore is so inconsistent of whenever he's going to get those opportunities or when he's not.
Is someone with the stash, or do you think Wilson is going to be the RB2 once Wilson is healthy?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I think you could stash Trey Sermon. I don't hate it. Hell, if Elijah Mitchell's out this week, he might be the guy again to get the start. But, yeah, I think he's worth the stash.
Schultz, Arnold, Ingram, Patty Fry at tight end this week.
I'm going to go Dan Arnold.
I just don't like that matchup against the Bills linebackers.
Or I see if Albert O's out there. You gonna make it over there?
I don't know. I would go Schultz here. Edwards or Van Jeff?
Brian Edwards.
I think we had this, but just on it wasn't Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong, we had this this question earlier. Won't dive fully into it, but Brandon Edwards is the upside play here. Hopefully, assuming that he can start to pick up some of these extra targets left behind from Ruggs. RC Cola
questions from Shelp. Like spamming the chat is not the way. Is not the way to get your question answered any faster.
Yeah, we are about 20 minutes, 15 minutes behind on the question, so that's why it was not answered right away. Schlep. But RC Cola is in the house. All is well. Tam, our ma'am, Tam. Our ma'am Tam, always with us as well. Please pick 2 wide receivers and a flex and a half PPR. AJ Brown, Bobby Trees, Mike Williams, Pittman, and Darrell Williams.
AJ Brown's the lock.
What a nice little group. Yes, Brown is a lock. Oh, boy.
Michael Pittman.
I think this is a week where Mike Williams bounces back. I do.
And Mike Williams.
So you're sitting Bobby Trees in this matchup.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to sit Mike Williams. But I don't love it. Brown and Pittman are there for sures. I lean. That is actually Aqua. I don't understand why that has not been done before.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do a little arts and crafts time on the Santa hat.
Get your daughter involved, a little finger painting. Be fun for the whole family. See, this is why people come to the TFA shows, so they can get some arts and crafts idea some really good family bonding and just putting, bedazzling TFA across all. There's some good gift ideas as well. Take your mom's, your dad's sister, wife, husband, take their favorite things, bedazzle them with just TFA across all of their favorite things. On a tie would look real sharp. Cardigan, you name it. Oh, and speaking of, I will make sure I put the link in here. We do have some TFA merch as well if you guys are looking for some holiday cheer. Booker, Connor, Jacobs, Eli Mitchell, if healthy. Damian Harris, pick 2. Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs and
Eli.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
For me.
If Mitchell is not healthy,
I would go Booker as long as Saquon is out.
Let's say Eli is hurt, Saquon comes back.
Then I guess you're going James Conner. Mr. I'm going to have 700 rushing yards by the end of the year, but 20 rushing touchdowns.
If Colt McCoy plays, Harris or Connor.
It's like, how many different ways can I get this to where it's not?
I'm just trying to cover all the bases because each one of these guys has a couple of. For me, like if Colt McCoy is playing, I really don't want anything to do with Connor because I don't think they're going to make as many red zone trips as they have been. I think we see more of Chase Edmonds, getting some more targets and getting some more run in this game if it is Colt McCoy. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I would go Harris if Colt was starting, and all those other things happen as well. Well, Schlepp is now blocked. I've seen enough.
What did he say now?
I saw we are fake because we won't answer the question. So get those negative vibes out of here. We don't got time for it.
What does that mean? We are fake.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, RC, I'm glad you came in at the time you came in. RC rocking with us. KK Beats helping us out as well. Trade for Michael Thomas.
That's great. The chat, chat coming through.
Yeah,
holding it down.
Appreciate it. Look at this. Eric throwing out the we are. Let's go. It was such.
No, just keep going. I just wanted to answer this.
Yeah,
why did you stop what you were talking about?
What?
You were in the middle of saying something. You just stopped.
Yeah, because I thought Saquon tested negative. That threw me off. I was just going to say it was such a Penn State thing to do to lose to 2-5 Iowa and then to play Ohio State tough. It was such typical Penn State shit. But yeah, it made me stop because I thought it came back that he tested negative.
So well, if he did test positive, he's on the COVID,
right? But then he got retested.
But yes, he got retested and tested. It was negative. So tomorrow he'll get retested again tomorrow morning, and it'll be negative again. And so then it'll be fine. So it's not anything to worry about. It was kind of confusing when it happened because like later in the day it came out they put him on COVID IR. Or the COVID list, so people were like, "Wait, what?" They just said that he tested negative. Like, what's going on here? But I guess because he has to have 2 in a row, so that's it. But yes, he is on the he tested positive. He got retested later in the day. It was tested negative, and so tomorrow he'll get tested again. As long as it's negative, he'll be good to go.
Boom. Alexis LeBlanc giving Harris and Terry receiving T and Barkley. I'm all about that life.
Lock it in.
Boom. I love the chat. Love you guys always coming through. Just seeing some of the other comments in here. Is it wrong to talk to another person in your league into a trade when they are drunk? Here's a good trade one. I think if you are forcing the trade, here's the ethics question. If as you were doing it, you're like, man, I'm taking advantage of this person. Probably if it's a total ripoff trade, but if it's something, it's like a 60-40 in your favor. But if you're going out and you're like, listen, man, Hunter Renfrow is about to explode. You should give me Jonathan Taylor. If it's something like that, don't be a doucher. But if it's close and you kind of lean them in the way that it is in your favor slightly, I think it's okay. That's how I would look at it from an ethical point of view. Because then you're also going to get if you're totally ripping them off, you're also going to get the entire league in an uproar, and people are going to start bringing out the veto card and all that other bullshit. It's going to be worth more hassle than what it's worth. So that's how I would lean toward that. ET's all about it. KK Beats has a PPR question. We need 3 out of Tony, Crowder, Boyd, and Jacoby. First 2 for me, and then Boyd or Myers.
What?
What?
You said first 2, then Boyd and Myers.
Yeah, I'm saying,
right?
Yeah, I'm just saying for me, it's definitely the first 2, and then it's between Boyd and Myers for the last one.
I'm going to go Tony, Crowder, and Myers.
Murdoch. What can I get for Gronk or Knox, and which should I move? I don't know if you're getting much for either of them. Gronk comes back, ends up leaving with the muscle spasms. We know that he stepped away. One of the reasons why he stepped away was because of the injuries and the toll that was taking on his body. So if he's already dealing with these muscle spasms, I don't think he's going to be in a rush to get back. Obviously they don't need him with the way that this offense is playing and the way that Tom Brady is playing. So there's no reason to try and rush him back anyway. So you might just be riding with Knox regardless, unless for some reason you have those 2 tight ends and like a Mark Andrews or something. But if you only have those 2, I think you're probably just dropping Knox. I don't think you're going to be able to – dropping Gronk, rather. I don't think you're going to be able to trade Gronk and really get much out of him. If you're trying to get an RB for one of those guys, I just don't think you're going to be able to get much in return because those guys are also being streamed. So if you're trying to get an RB, you're looking at a RB3. Maybe you could get like a Rojo. You're gonna have to basically. I think you're looking at a handcuff territory for Gronk, and I'm not going to be sending off Knox to try. Again, banged up. I don't think the trade value is going to be there for them right now.
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't think you're going to get a ton for him.
Okay, so there's just Alexis adding on to that trade offer. Adams, Chase, McLaurin, Williams, RBs, Henderson, Mitchell, Harris, Javonte. Yeah. Keeping Henderson and Mitchell as well. Well done. Adams, Chase. I like it. I like it. Just want to make sure we didn't.
It
miss
feels like
anything
that feels
here.
like trying to take a girl to a bar to get her drunk and everything to try to get her.
Yeah. This is. This
but
is
instead, I have a trade for you, sir. No. Here, have some more. Have some more. We'll talk about it later. Okay, just let it marinate. We'll talk about it more. And then while he's hammered, you're like, hey, just pull out your phone. Just accept. Hit that accept button. Hit that accept.
What's actually, I didn't take somebody to the casino to try and coerce this, but earlier in the year, during our rookie draft for one of our dynasty drafts for one of my home dynasty leagues, one of my buddies was away. He was drunk. I was trying to get and he doesn't really pay attention all that much with all of his rookies. So I was trying to get his picks from him, and he was literally just like, dude, I don't care. Just take, I don't know. I'm fine with whatever. Just give me this. I was like, I can't do it. This is never going to fly. Marcus, Carter, Thielen, or Damian Harris? This is between Thielen and Michael Carter. And I like both of their situations.
Oh, it's Michael Carter.
Easily for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they're both close enough that yeah. I'm good with Carter going up Thursday Night Football against a Colts defense that is not great. Well, there you go, Kev. You convince somebody. Abraham just picked up Alberto over Hooper, Ingram, Mo Alley, and Joku Komet. Yeah, I'm fine with it over that group, but I would still want Conklin over all of them. DB, appreciate you, man. Appreciate all you guys for rocking with us and showing the support. Appreciate the chat holding it down for us and dealing with nuisances and annoyances, spammers. Obviously Walito wasn't here.
Every time we need Walito for something, he's never here. You ever notice that?
I do. It's very it's almost now it's getting to the point where it's suspicious.
Oh yeah, maybe maybe he's just coming over with his burners.
Braxo traded Cook for Mixon, Hunt, and Waddle.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Curious to see what Hunt's deal is going to be with his injury. But I like Waddle rest of the season, especially with Tua back in the fold. Thoughts on this trade that just went through in my league, full PPR, Kyler, AK, Gesicki, Sanders for Hurts, Chubb, Patty Fry, and Randall Cobb. So switching Kyler and Hurts, AK and Chubb. Probably with the Kyler side.
Yeah, I would definitely want the Kyler side.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
I
asking
don't think
if
it's
this is
egregious or anything like that.
no.
Like you're asking.
Yeah, if you're asking if this is a fair deal, I don't see any issues with it. I want the Kyler side, however. Would you drop Kadarius Toney for Edwards or Osborne?
No.
Keeping Toney.
Yeah.
I look on DJ Moore rest of season.
Like I said, I think Christian McCaffrey helps this offense immensely. And so, I mean, the problem has been for the Panthers, one of the problems has been is they just haven't anybody else been able to step up, right? Robbie Anderson has been a fucking bum. And, Terrace Marshall, we haven't said his name in forever, but he's also he's been out with a concussion. He actually finally returned to practice today. So that's good news for him. Which, especially with as bad as Robbie Anderson, maybe he gets more opportunities now. But I do think bringing Christian McCaffrey back, it really helps out DJ Moore and his ability to be able to what he can do and be able to, not get, double and triple covered and just bracketed the entire time to take him away, because then who else do you have to throw the ball to? So I guess what I think his outlook is for rest of season. I think he can be a strong wide receiver one.
Yeah. No, not worried. I think a bounce back is in store. Speaking of store, I just also dropped the link to the TFA merch in the chat if you guys would like to peruse the merch that we have available. Short tees, long tees, women tees, and hoodies available over there if you would like to take a look, and also drop the rest of the links in the description to the video. So hopefully that is updated for you guys who are looking for the Discord link as well. Ryan Evans in a PPR, Claypool or Manny Sanders? I like Claypool this week.
Yeah, I agree. So Ronald, actually, yeah, this has been the most confusing thing ever, because I actually went back and checked myself, because I was like, wait, no, I saw earlier, from Adam Schefter about 5 or 6 hours ago, that it tested negative. But then I did see another tweet saying that I guess somebody else has a source saying that he actually tested positive on the second test. So I don't fucking know. I guess I'll have to wait till tomorrow to get the full if he actually did or not. Because all I could see is there's a Roto World update that says Ralph added that his sources told him Barkley's second test was positive. This directly contradicts a previous report from Schefter that said of the 13 Giants players who were retested today, only one returned a positive test. Barkley is vaccinated, so he can return after 2 negative tests 24 hours apart. The second positive result doesn't look good for his odds of playing in Week 9. So that was at about 4:30 this afternoon when that was. But this is the only person I've seen that has said anything otherwise. Everybody else has been saying that it was a negative test. So I guess we'll find out more tomorrow what happens there. So
AJB or Deontay Johnson? This is absolutely AJB for us.
I mean, wait, FIFA. Why can we not start both? I mean, I'm trying to figure out who you could possibly have, unless you have like Cooper Kupp,
Debo.
Because I have Deontay Johnson at 7, so I have AJ Brown at 4. So it is still AJ Brown, but I want to play both of them if I can. But
yes, let us know if we can squeeze both of those guys in. Do we think Kyler will play? I'm of the opinion that they don't need to rush him back, given their record. I know it's a divisional game and all that, but they need Kyler to be at 100%. They saw what happened whenever he was not at 100% down the stretch last year. Kev said that I can see the face. What's the head coach? My God, why can't I think of his name?
Cliff Kingsbury?
Yes. Kev was saying that Kingsbury said that Kyler does not have to practice in order to be able to play. So keep an eye on it. Abraham, let us know. Join us on Sunday if you end up having to turn to waivers in order to pick up a quarterback this week. Hopefully we'll get some more concrete information as the week goes on as well. James with no thoughts on Brandon Cooks this week. If you caught the wide receiver video, which obviously you have not, Kev talked about liking Brandon Cooks as a bounce back candidate this week. So we think Cooks gets back to a little bit more of what he has been doing in terms of his production. That was just a rough matchup for him last week. Should I drop Noah Fant for Patty Fry? If I would just drop Noah Fant if you have Mike Gesicki.
See, I would want to include him in on some type of in some sort of trade.
Obviously, if you can trade one of those guys, I would not be basically Wes. The point we're getting at is we would not be carrying two tight ends if your number ones are of Fant and Gesicki's ilk. Now, obviously, if you had Pat Freiermuth and you were carrying like a Dawson Knox or something like that, that would make a little bit more sense. But I would put up Fant, I would put up Gesicki on your trade block, see who you can get the most for, and go from there. I would not be carrying two tight ends of the same tier.
I would also say just this is that with Gesicki, I would actually look to trade him if you could, because I think his value is pretty high right now, and if you could trade him, I think then in keeping one of those two, which I don't know, I think maybe it might be Pat Freiermuth just because of his involvement in the offense, but either one of them I think would be fine. But I do think Gesicki kind of falls down to earth once Will Fuller returns. He's the guy I talked about if I sell as a player I would look to sell. Just because I think with Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, like just the targets aren't going to be there as much as they've been because a lot of those guys were out. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller were out. So it was much more of a concentrated target share for him. I don't think it's going to be the same way for Mike Gesicki. So I don't feel as great about Mike Gesicki moving forward with all these guys coming back.
Agreed. Easy Money Sicilian coming through with the super chat. Appreciate that. EMS. Would you trade Mixon Hollywood for Stafford and CPAT? I would not. We are not fans of trading.
I would not.
Not a fan of trading for quarterbacks. Even if your quarterback situation is pretty desperate, giving up the production of Mixon and Hollywood is not worth getting up to Stafford. You can always stream. There's guys that hit every single week, and be sure to check out the streaming and waivers video going forward if we can help you out. Alexis, I'm a little confused here. Giving 7, receiving 11. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I see we are getting some Canadian deposits here. Walito, maybe if you could translate for us if there's something that we are missing here in the language barrier between the U.S. and Canada. This was the God, it was just there. Giving Damian Harris and Terry McLaurin, receiving T. Higgins and Saquon Barkley.
Did we answer that?
Yeah. I'm just not sure what the giving 7, receiving 11 is about. Like giving $7.
Oh, 7th pick, 11th pick.
Oh, okay. I was just like, what? Is this like are you saying like, hey, did I win? I mean, yeah, I would still do that. Giving Harris, Terry McLaurin, if you're including picks in this, because obviously you didn't take Terry McLaurin with your 7th overall, so you're not talking about that. Yeah. I'm fine with that. Getting Barkley and T. Higgins in return. Barkley is obviously a massive upgrade over Damian Harris. And then, Terry McLaurin is an upgrade over T. Higgins, but I don't think it is a massive one. Appreciate you guys coming through with the super chats tonight. I think we are about 9 subs away from 2,200. So appreciate all you guys. If you're rocking with us, have not yet hit that subscribe button, please do us a favor and hit us with a sub. Christian Alexander had Barkley. I don't think he's playing. Should I start Booker, Khalil Herbert at my flex, or Chase Claypool? Starting receivers, Deontay Johnson, CeeDee Lamb. Just subscribe. Let's go. Be like Christian. Hit that sub button, baby. Appreciate you, Christian.
I'm going to go Khalil Herbert here.
Well,
Chase Claypool. I didn't see the Chase Claypool part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to start Deontay and Chase Claypool. This isn't the type of game where it's going to be some
right
shootout. So I would much rather just go Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, if you need two of those three, if you're saying you need a running back and a flex, go with the two running backs over Claypool.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting Gesicki.
Yeah. Yeah. Thin running back, but need a tight end this week. Yes. It's not like AP is going to be the savior to your running back room anyway. Ulysses Leo, Standard League, Javonte or Bateman?
I'm going to go Javonte with it being a Standard League.
I'm going to go Bateman. The split of those touches, Melvin Gordon has been the one who's been seeing the end zone over Javonte. Obviously, that can flip any given week, but in that matchup against the Cowboys front, I'm gonna lean Bateman there. I like that matchup for Bateman more than I like the matchup for Javonte. Eli at the flex for J2. Nice. Other options are Sutton, Judy, Hubbard, and Julio. So let's assume that Eli is out once again. Who do you like here? Sutton, Judy, Chuba, Julio.
I'm going to go Cortland Sutton.
You like Sutton over Julio?
Yeah.
Definitely think it's the safer option for sure. Kirk, Tony, Bateman need two here for Hector.
Tony and Bateman.
Camacho man, Randy Savage. Far from average. Yeah, same for me. Fields or Love this week?
I'm going to go Justin Fields.
Yeah, I had Gator hit me up in the Discord, and I said the same thing. It was like I don't love it, but I've also never been a fan of Jordan Love either. I also said Fields. Better QB for fantasy, Lamar or Mahomes here for Diamond Gamer?
I mean, if we're talking about this week, it's especially now with the way this all has transpired, with Aaron Rodgers out, it's definitely Lamar.
Should I trade D-Hop for Chubb and AB?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that Raptor. Drew, trade Chubb for Kelsey. In PPR, the backs are Najee Montgomery, Khalil Pollard, and Matty Sun. I would not do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'm keeping Chubb there, Drew.
I mean, because it doesn't sound like, I doubt Montgomery plays this week. And so if he's out, then they're on bye next week. So the earliest you could use Montgomery would be week 11. And so I just don't want to get rid of Chubb.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Najee obviously is great, but then Montgomery and Herbert, that's kind of cancels each other out a little bit in terms of one or the other, and then you have Pollard and Madison, which aren't really startable either. And so, outside of injuries, obviously we're holding those guys because those guys are golden tickets if either one of those dudes go down, Dalvin Cook or Zeke. But we're not getting rid of Chubb.
Yeah, maybe you could look to kind of sell high from Herbert and just shoot for like a lower level tight end. Maybe look at someone who's holding 2 tight ends in your league and, maybe try and send away Khalil before Montgomery comes back. Adams, AJB as the wide receivers, Najee, Jones, running backs, Jacobs at the flex, DJ Moore on the bench. I would not make any changes, Abraham. I would keep this as is. I'm just not a fan of DJ Moore this week in the matchup, and especially if it's going to be PJ Walker, and that's what it sounds like. And I do like Jacobs in this matchup. I would keep as is.
I would strongly consider going DJ Moore over Josh Jacobs. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care that it's it's old PJ Walker, Mr. XFL.
I just don't like the matchup against the Pats. JC Jackson has been excellent this year, outside of the Tampa game, I believe.
The only thing that worries me about Josh Jacobs is it's like he gets hurt every game and leaves every game with an injury. But they are coming off bye, so I think you probably end up sticking with Josh Jacobs though on that one. I don't know.
Higbee or Conklin? I'm going Conklin.
Is Albert O out there? I'm gonna keep saying it. Albert O is my Michael Carter from last week. Everybody was here last week knows that I was all about Michael Carter. That's obviously as long as Noah Fant's not back. Noah Fant gets cleared, then that's totally different. But then he would come off the board. But I would say for me right now between these two, it's probably Conklin.
Pats D, a streamer this week. Yeah, I like the Pats D if they are available.
I don't think it's as great as if Christian McCaffrey comes back because you're going to see a lot of dump offs to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. RD, rock with us. What is up, Ronnie? 2 of these 3, Darrell Williams, McNichols, Bateman, full PPR.
Darrell Williams. I'm gonna go Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, it's not a great matchup for McNichols, and we don't know what this split and what this backfield is going to look like, post Derrick Henry. So I will agree there. Rick wants to know, would you trade J-Rob and Fant for Elijah and Kelsey?
Yeah.
Yep, doing that as well. Hey, I mean, hit 1 for Kevin, hit 2 for Cody. Alexis, look at this. This is what we're here for. First year playing fantasy, tied in first. Let's go.
Let's go.
This is what we're here for.
Let's win that. Work's not done yet, though. Okay, we're just getting started. We got to get the championship now.
Absolutely. If you go first year and get that ship, it's beautiful. So the other running backs for Rick in that trade, not that I think is going to really change our answer, but other running backs, Saquon, Harris, Alex, and AP. So trading J-Rob for Elijah and Kelsey.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Anyone wants to know if we were starting Pittman over Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen?
Yes.
I would start Pittman over Cooper.
I have Keenan over Michael Pittman. So I would rank them Keenan, Pittman, Cooper.
Yep. Need 3 of these 5 for Gator, Scott, Connor, Higgins, Tony, Bateman.
Higgins, Tony, Bateman. Or
I'm gonna go Scott.
no, I would go Scott, Higgins, Tony.
Yeah.
Because Sterling Shepard has already been, I think, ruled out for this week. And so that really is good things for Kadarius Toney.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. For Brian, QB Cousins, RB Chubb, Najee, wide receivers Pittman, Edwards, tight end is Pitts, flexes Williams, and Claypool. Thoughts on the roster?
I think it's a strong roster. Solid at tight end. Good running backs. Chubb, obviously, expecting a little bit more from him than what we've seen, but I think he gets better. And then, especially with we talked about their schedule, third best. Nick Chubb has the third best schedule remaining for running backs on the season. So,
I think unless Brian traded him, I think Brian has Julio. Would you go Julio over Brian Edwards?
yeah, I probably would.
Would you start Jordan Love if Adams is back for Tyler?
It just really depends on what else you got,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just if you're desperate and need a running or need a court. Because what about Taysom Hill? Is Taysom Hill out there? Because I mean, if he plays, which we haven't got any official confirmation that he's going to be the starter, but if he is, it's hard not to absolutely love him against Atlanta.
Yeah, I would absolutely start Taysom over Jordan Love.
Because we haven't got a single Taysom question.
Yeah, that is odd. I see DB. I don't know. Just moved down here to North Carolina, so I don't know if this is a cold coming on or if it's just different allergies. Like I'm not feeling sick yet, but it feels like more than allergies, but not quite yet a cold. Appreciate you asking though. Look at DB just caring about all of us. Truth Teller rolling through. Barkley might not play. Should I start Scott or pick up Booker? I would play Booker over Scott, but I do like Scott as a start this week as well. Gesicki or Hurts and Judy or Bateman.
What? Is that a trade? No.
This will be Cousins for me over Love, Tyler, and then if you could clarify this one for us, we'll get to Nathan's question and then we will start to wrap up. Nathan needs 2 of these 3: Pittman, D-Hop, Carter.
Pittman.
Tom.
Michael Carter.
Oh Lord.
I just don't think you can trust DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he was in and out of that game the last time they played. If you're gonna sit Kyler Murray, I think you might as well sit DeAndre Hopkins to get him right, even just if it's just for a week to get him healthy. Give him extra time to get that hamstring right. I know he came back into the game, but then he left again. So, or they pulled him. So, I just don't know if you can trust DeAndre Hopkins at this point. So I would go Michael Carter, who's the kind of the surefire guy.
Tua or Taysom?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm going to go Tua, but it's close.
If Taysom starts, I would probably go Taysom.
Well, there's your popularity contest.
So here would be why. It's just because of he has such an incredible upside in terms of his rushing floor. And listen, I hate Taysom Hill. He's not a quarterback, but regardless of that, none of that really matters. if you go back to last year, kind of look what he did last year, against Atlanta. I mean, he got him twice, and he scored 24.2 and 23.6 in both of those games. He never scored less than 18 and a half. He was a QB1 in every week that he started. And so it's hard not to love Taysom Hill and his rushing upside that he brings. I mean, in those games, he had 49, 44, 83, and 33 rushing yards in those 4 games as well. And he also had 4 rushing touchdowns over that span. So if Taysom starts, I think you would have to go Taysom.
Would you trade Diggs for Barkley?
I would, yes.
RC helping us out here. I think this is what Tyler was getting at. Gesicki or Ertz?
Oh. Yeah. That's Gesicki. And the other one's Judy.
Yeah. We already got that one. Here we go. Agnew, Schultz, Claypool.
We finally got a Jamal Agnew. Oh man. This has been such a weird fucking year. I mean, for fantasy football, all the guys that we're talking about in 2021. Jamal Agnew. 12 targets last week. Fucking Urban Meyer. This is Claypool, though.
Yeah. Claypool for me as well. Still starting Adams with Rodgers being out. It all depends on, who else you have. Because, I mean, Adams is still going to be in the same position he is when Rodgers is in there. You're just not getting the quality of the targets, right? Like, he's still going to be absolutely peppered with targets. You're just not getting the same quality of targets. So it would depend on who else you have, but it's probably still hard to – unless it was like maybe because it's very well within the range of possibilities that you drafted both like Pittman and Debo. You know what I mean? And you also have whoever you took in the mid rounds as well.
I still think it's the same. I don't think he really changes. It doesn't really bother me all that much with quarterbacks in terms of wide receivers, especially when you're talking about an elite level wide receiver. I think he still sees a ton of targets. So yeah, I think you feel great. I still think you feel fine with Devontae Adams.
Would you package Barkley with McLaurin for CMC? Diggs, D-Hop, Pittman as the other receivers for Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, I would. If you can do it.
Wentz or Tanny?
Wentz.
But I don't know that Edwards will be reliable because I think that
I think he's more than he was before, but he's still probably in more of the wide receiver 4 discussion.
Yeah.
On a weekly basis.
Yep. Still think Waller and Renfro are going to eat up a lot of those targets, but hopefully, we see Edwards get more involved, and maybe since he is forced to be more involved, we'll see just how good that dude could be. Higbee or Conklin. This is going to be Conklin for us, unless Albert O is available. Kev wants you to go get Albert O this week. Tyreek for CMC. Is that fair?
I mean, hell yeah. That's what I've said. Like, CMC is absolutely the when CMC's healthy, there's no fantasy player that's better than him. None. I don't care who it is. It's not Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, none of them are as good as CMC when he's healthy. His ceiling is so high every single week, and his floor is so incredibly high every single week.
Yeah.
If you could trade Hill for CMC, do it. But yeah.
Now on the running back show, you talked about not selling high on Kamara, but if you could, let's say, swap Kamara for another stud RB like in the same range. Is that something you would do with Hill coming into the fold? Like if you could swap him for like a JT, like that level of running back.
I think you could. I even think like Najee. Najee is in the discussion. Najee has scored 20 plus fantasy points every single week since week 1. Najee has been incredibly consistent in terms of just giving you really solid production every week. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not actually looking to trade for Alvin Kamara. There's the narrative of last year, like I said with him, is that everybody looks at him and thinks that. Actually, I think it was in the buy sell video we brought this up because I kind of went on a little bit of a rant. But
oh yeah.
Because I said that people are going to talk about Alvin Kamara as a buy or as a sell now because of if Taysom Hill starts. The game script in those 4 sample size game weren't great. One of the games was Denver without a quarterback, so they never threw the ball. But then the one game where there was a really strong game script, he saw 10 targets. And so I would not expect that all of a sudden Alvin Kamara is going to fall off. So I'm not actively looking to trade Alvin Kamara, is what I would say. And I think other people are going to have the same feelings what you're feeling there, truth teller. And so then I think you end up kind of hurting yourself.
Thielen, Cooper, wide receivers, Jones is flex.
You definitely should put Adams in.
Yeah, I would put Adams in over Marvin Jones. How do we feel about playing Parker, Beasley, and Ayuk this week? Boom or bust?
Absolutely love Devontae Parker.
Yep.
He's my guy. Absolutely love him. I have him as wide receiver 24 this week in a great matchup against Houston. Brandon Ayuk, obviously, you don't feel as great about because of, he still hasn't necessarily really put it all together. I mean, he did have 7 targets last week, which was very encouraging. And so I do like that goddamn jug every time. And so, yeah, I mean, I think they're all pretty boom. And then Beasley, I think, is fine.
Yeah. The only thing you worry about in that matchup is if they just get up big and they don't really need to pass all that off and they slow things down. But guys, that is going to wrap it up. Appreciate all of you for rocking with us. If you have not hit us with a sub, please do so. Getting close to 2,200. Trying to climb way above that, though. Appreciate all of the support. Going to be going live tomorrow. Cousins for us, Tyler.
Yeah.
What about CMC or Cook for Kamara?
Oh, hell yeah. If you can get CMC for Kamara, absolutely.
Dalvin?
I would be good with that too.
Yeah, if you're getting like an even swap of the guys who are in that same level as Kamara, that's fine. We just don't want to go down to like an Aaron Jones plus. We'd still rather have Kamara. But anyways, wrapping up tonight, going to be the DFS guys will be going live tomorrow. If you're doing any DraftKings lineups, we will have Prop Talk back this week, and then we'll also be live for you guys again on Sunday mornings with any other crazy news that happens the rest of this week, anything else that comes out. We will be here for you. You can join the Discord. That is absolutely free, and be sure to check out the merch if you guys would like that bedazzled TFA logo across your chest. So until the next time, we'll talk to all of you soon.